Alright, no reason to beat around the bush, I guess. Let's just get right into this. So, it's been a while. But I finally got around to finishing this, so now I have to do these. And I don't remember a lot of these, so there's going to be a lot of from memory. But let's not waste any time. So right off the bat, Mayri and The Last Stand. So, The Last Stand, easy S rank in combat, because, it's like, it instantly, or like, not instantly, you know what I mean? Basically, it kills other stand users. Only thing keeping it out of S plus is that it is only effective against stand users, so you know. And then for utility, it's mostly combat oriented, so I don't know how high in utility it can go. I guess if the utility is keeping someone out, or like whatever, then it's very effective. So I'm gonna put it in B tier for utility. I think that's acceptable. Okay, next up, check the vibe. I don't remember the intricacies of check the vibe. Let me check real quick. I know it's like if you vibe check someone and they pass, they're fine, and if you don't, then they are not fine. Check the vibe. Yeah, okay, so it can't be that good in combat because, you know, it's luck-based, basically. So I'm going to put it in B in combat because when it is successful, then it's very good, but when it's unsuccessful, it's useless. And as for utility, I'm going to put that in like an E in utility. I think that's acceptable. Okay. The Thief. I think it's safe to say the Thief is S plus in combat. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that, considering its capabilities, even if it is luck-based. And even for utility, I mean, it's more combat-based than similar stands like it. So, like, it's more combat-based than, say, Here I Go Again. So I'm going to say it's like a... No, it's like a, honestly, C tier for utility, because it's like fully combat based, but could have utility functions in theory, but it wouldn't be used for that usually. Okay, Pink Nightmare Signal. So I'm not going to bother looking this up. If I recall, it's like, actually, okay, fine, I'll look it up. Pink Nightmare Signal. Yeah. So they need to hold something that's part of their body, and the person becomes convinced that they're in a dream. So in combat, I mean, it has its uses in combat, but it's not going to be that great. Because it takes a while to get into effect and all that. But if it gets into effect, it can really throw people off. And then for utility, I think that's like, what the fuck do you use that for, you know? That's like E tier utility. Sunny Boy. When the user I believe it's when the user dies, the last person they talk to gets their stand removed. That's a suicide stand, but it's like powerful. So I'm gonna say it's a B tier in combat because it requires dying. Actually, no, in combat, it's F tier because it doesn't trigger unless you die. So, like, by the time you've already lost whatever battle by the time you die, it's just like a haha, gotcha afterwards. Granted, I do say that fucking notorious Rob Ness is fucking E tier, but that's a bit different because that's like a continued assault. This is just they're fucked over in the future. And then the utility, I'm gonna put it up at like B, or honestly, maybe not S tier. I think A tier is fair. Alright. Color of the game? Question mark tier because we don't know what it does. Alright. Okay, I guess I'll get Claire de Lune right now, because, you know. Okay. Claire de Lune is fucking ridiculous. Easy S plus in combat. Also, let's rotate it so it's right side up. That's a very easy S plus in combat. And honestly, S plus in utility too. Like, it's a really busted stand. Okay, Frankie and Johnny. Another, like, very... Honestly, I think that's S tier in combat, honestly. And then in utility, it's, like, not really utility-able. So I'll put it in, like, D tier, maybe. It could have uses, but it probably doesn't. Because it is, like, strictly combat-oriented. Psytrance. Combat. Extremely crippling if you get hit by it, but you have to get spit on. But then again, you know, if you get spit on, like, you lose the fight. So I think that's A in combat. And for utility, it would only be good for making people, like, subservient to you through, like, intimidation. But it's going to be real effective at that, so I think it's B tier. Okay, back up a bit. Flood of Pain. I believe it's if the stand hits someone, then any wounds on the part of the body they hit that they've had are opened. So it relies on the person having been in combat before, so it's not an immediate, like, strong thing. And really, it'll cause, like, it could cause, like, it's not bad in combat, it's just, it's situational. So I'm gonna put it in C. Because, like, if they've, like, broken a leg and you hit their leg, it'll instantly break again, but, like, you could also just hit their leg hard enough to break it in the first place. And then for utility, I think it's, like, I mean, F, maybe? No, it has armor, technically, so you could consider, I'm gonna put it in, no, it's not high enough to be C, I don't think. D, maybe? Damn, I might have to compress that D section. Anyways, Banana Shoes. It's an exploitable stand. That's one of the big parts of it. So it's very versatile. So in combat, I'm going to say it's like... Well, you could make guns out of, like, bananas very easily and stuff like that. So I think that's honestly... Well, if you have bananas on hand, so... Well, but yeah, oh wait, he could make anything into bananas and then make, or anything that vaguely resembles a banana or a banana peel or whatever, into it. He could just chain things together, basically, to make them into a banana and then into a weapon and then into whatever. So yeah, he can really do a lot with that. So I'm going to say that's, honestly, A fucking combat, S in utility. Like, just because I think that makes sense. Alright. Breaking Benjamin. I believe it forces somebody into basically waking sleep paralysis. So that's, like, real powerful. I think, okay. I don't think it's quite S plus tier in combat. Even if it is, like, it fully paralyzes them. They can do whatever the fuck. Actually... No, that is S plus tier. What the fuck am I saying? That's, like, almost exactly the same as fucking, Ikari wa Shuri Yoshimatsu. So that makes sense that it would be S plus. And then utility, it would be, like... You can get people to... I guess I'll put in the same tier as Psytrance. You could get people to do what you want. Alright. Candle on the Water. A completely defensive ability, but a good one. So, combat, I think A, it completely negates incoming damage unless the candle itself is attacked. So I think it's reasonable to say that. Utility, also A, it's just invincibility, basically, but, like, with a few quirks to it. So yeah, that makes sense that it would be below, other things. Below fucking Invincible or whatever the hell it is. Alright, Mrs. Robinson. Combat. Very scary. Very powerful. Not very easy to fight against. So I think it's an S tier. Not quite, like, ridiculous enough to be S+. Utility, easy, like, you can intimidate people with it, but you can't really do jack fuck with it outside of combat. So I'll put it in C tier. Partly because we need more fucking C tiers here. Let me fucking fix that line a bit. There we go. That'll hold for like 3 seconds. Okay. Okay. Beautiful Ruin. What the fuck does Beautiful Ruin do again? I believe it, like, it takes somebody's defining trait. What the fuck? Oh, this was during that weird period of time where Discord wasn't fucking working in the search mode, so I have to do this one from memory. Or I can just go into abilities, and then, like, what would be around? I guess I could just, like, I'll find it. Give me a sec. Yeah, removes the defining trait of an individual and replaces it with the opposite trait. Well, it depends on the person it's being used against, because if they're weak to begin with, it'll make them strong, but he could just not use the stand in that circumstance. So I think it's... when it's effective, it would be good, but when it's not, it's, like, pointless. So I guess it's kind of a C tier, really, in combat. Like, it doesn't deserve higher than that. And utility, it's like... I guess if someone, like, lies a lot, you could make them tell the truth, so I guess that's a use, so I guess it goes C there, too. Okay, this is this. Rearrange atoms on an elemental level. Oh yeah, it's very powerful, but very short range. So honestly, like, I think A tier combat, S utility, maybe S+. I think S is a bit more acceptable though. Actually, fuck it. Okay, I'm trying to think. Does it deserve S+? I mean, you just have an area in front of the stand's fist that can just do whatever the fuck it wants, basically. Yeah, if you played things right, it could be really good, so I'll put it there. Hang on, leave me a second. I'm gonna turn on the lights. Okay. Gods and Glory. Very vague and confusing as to how it actually works, which is kind of the point. But in combat, it's like a D, I guess, because, well, no, it's better than a D. It's a B, even, because it can conjure up, like, enemies and whatever. It can do things. Maybe even a bit more than B. Maybe A. Yeah, I guess A is fine. I mean, if Mozart can be an A, then this can be an A. I mean, Mozart is in fucking S+, so yeah, if Mozart can be an S+, this could be an S+. And utility... S? Maybe? A? A or S? I guess S, because you know, if you use it right, blah, 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 blah. Okay, just the two of us. Trap someone in a container until they solve a riddle. Combat. Requires capturing them, but it completely traps them. So, I'm going to say it's a B if pulled off. And utility, very good for essentially getting information out of someone if you need it. So, like, okay. I would say that's like S tier. Same with Gods and Glory. That's a very good stand in general, honestly. Okay. Living in the Sunlight. I don't remember all about this one. I remember it's really fucking scary. Okay. Being touched by a stand, anytime victims' bodily tissues. Okay, so it gives them the fucking thing where their bodily tissues regrow as bone, like, really quickly. And if they spit on them, any liquid transforms into salt. Very fucking terrifying. Honestly, like, I think S in combat, and utility, like, I mean, again, it has intimidation purposes, kind of like Psytrance. So I guess, nah, okay, he wouldn't, like, use it for that purpose, though, I guess, so. Really, honestly, fuck it. I don't know. This is a mostly combat-oriented stand. So I think it goes into, like, C, or D, I guess. I guess I'll put it in D, and I'll crush down the D section real quick. Alright. Okay. Soundgarden. Soundgarden has a lot going on, if I recall. Yeah, okay. Soundgarden... Well, okay. I guess that's a fucking S+ in combat, honestly. Like, he's chill, so he doesn't use it. It's like a ridiculously powerful stand. Because it can slurp in stands, it can destroy people's hearing and disorient them. Yeah. Yeah, if it didn't have the Black Hole Sun sub-ability, then it would probably be a bit lower, but having Black Hole Sun essentially makes it really hard to combat, even if you are a stand user, so... Yeah. As for utility, I think it's more of a... Still has a lot of shit going on, so I guess it's like an A tier utility. Actually, You know what? I'm looking at the other shit here. I'm looking at it. And I'm actually thinking that this doesn't deserve S+ there. This deserves S. And then it still gets A in utility. Yeah, I think that's fair. Because S+ really needs to be, it is for the best of the best. Alright. Song that might play when you fight insert stands here. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, Harshime, for making this shit. Combat. Where's a fuck Heartshine tier? Ugh. Honestly, okay, so it has a use. So it goes in E tier across the board, but the use is fucking awful. It's not quite F, but it's so situational and stupid. I hate it. Anyways. Paralyzer. Yeah, alright, that's, like, okay. So in combat, requires a bit of setup, but would be pretty effective. So I'll put it in B. And for utility, it's like, you can basically trap someone in a place if you want. I wouldn't quite put it just the two of us tier, but I'll put it in A tier. There's a lot of, like, good stands, apparently. That or my standards have changed. Honestly, okay, well, first things first, let me get Zawaldo real quick. Zawaldo, in combat, is worthless, basically. Okay, hang on, let me get a better picture for this motherfucker. Let me just... Oh, this is as far as I can go, huh? Damn. Guess I'll just be making that real fucking big. Okay. In combat, F tier, because if it's like a one-on-one combat situation, it won't be helping him. For utility, though, honestly, it goes all the way up to at least B, but I think A. Okay, no, it is B, because it has lots of quirks and downsides and whatnot. Alright. King of 12 Angels. Weird stand. I think in combat, it's like a C, because it's like, it could have its uses in theory, but like, if you were really fucking fighting against it, it's so, like, just the scale of the stand is so huge that, like, anything it could do, you would be able to fucking see coming, like, so early. And then, utility, I'm gonna put it in S tier, because it's essentially control over an entire planet to an extent to do certain tasks. So, like, you know. Okay. Starman. Oh wait, no, that's that. I just screenshotted the fucking user, not the stand. Oof. Okay, Starman. Combat. Not very useful. I think that's a D in combat right there. Utility. Very situational. Like, very situational. I think it's a C at best. Okay, Bittersweet Symphony. Giles Corey. more snakes. Well, okay, let's see. In combat, you just make a lot of snakes show up, so that'll freak people out. So I think that's a B for Bittersweet Symphony. And for utility, it just makes a bunch of snakes show up. That's like actively usually not a good thing to have happen. So I'm gonna put that in D or E, but I think D. Because there are situations where you could just need a lot of snakes, maybe. Okay, a matter of fact. Matter of fact. Yeah, if it's agreed upon, it becomes fact, but it needs a lot of people to agree upon it. So I would say completely useless in a combat environment. Unless there just so happened to be a fucking... Okay. No, because if there were a crowd of 30 people, then Zalwaldo would be a bit higher up, too. And for utility, it's like... It needs a lot of people to agree on it, but if you can get a lot of people to agree on it, you can make, like, whatever fact. But it needs to be something people would agree on, so, like, you know, it can't really go any higher than A. Dental care. Let me check what the fuck dental care does. Sorry, it's just, I started this so long ago. Like, back in December, I think. Maybe even before then. No, it would have been back in December. Okay. Oh, okay, so it just redirects the blood to the gums. Alright. Combat. Technically, it's a combat stand. And that is pretty scary. Because it can just cause you to bleed out from the gums. But, like, that would take a long-ass time to actually have any huge effect. But it would still be pretty existent. And as for utility, I don't know what the fuck that thing is a utility for, unless, like, I don't know. F in utility, I guess. Well, okay. If someone suddenly needs to get blood flowing to their gums for some reason, then it could have a use. So, I'm gonna put in E. That's a really fucking stupid thing. But, like, you know, whatever. Okay, so what big deal? I remember the ability, but not the intricacies of it. It's just like... Hang on. Here reflects a stand ability. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, completely reflects as long as he can say his name. So it's just worse glorious domination, basically. So I think that goes into, like, B tier. And as for utility, I think it goes into, D tier, maybe. Actually, utility, it would go into C tier, I think is fair. Because it's better as a utility stand, technically. But, like, oof. Okay, hang on. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Well, it basically just lets you kill yourself. So I think that's an easy F in combat. And in the vast majority of situations, that would be an F in utility, but it technically has its uses, because it also allows you to ascend through heaven. So it's technically a utility stand, but yeah. Okay, Hokey Pokey. Hokey Pokey is easily S plus in combat because it's fucking terrifying. And utility, like, even if it is a post-mortem stand, it's still so fucking scary that it also becomes independent at a certain point. So yeah, it's just so fucking scary and oppressive that I can't put it any lower than that. As for utility, though, I think it's understandable to put it a bit lower as a utility stand. Like, maybe down into fucking... It also has a really weird, like... Okay, wait. I just remembered. Okay. No, this isn't the post-mortem thing. This is the actual stand itself, which is the cystic fibrosis thing. So that would be... Okay, excluding the post-mortemness, this does not go in S+. But then again, I guess... Fucking... Okay. Jeez. Shit. It's such a weird stand. Because it goes from this weird-ass, janky cystic fibrosis ability with weird, intricate, disabled things. But they're not that hard to really disprove. And then when the user dies, it becomes a completely different thing and basically becomes like an eldritch, three-bodied god that just starts destroying everything and has lurker abilities to an extent. Fuck! This is a weird one. Okay, I guess I'll put it in... Okay. I'll put it in A. And I'll put the utility also in A. Just give it a real high ranking, but not high enough to be scary. Because it's a scary stand in general, but you know. Okay. Old Days. The cock and ball torture stand. That just summons roosters and orbs. Can you stop fucking doing that, bitch? Okay, well, it's technically a combat stand that just endlessly assaults someone with objects. But it's stupid, so I'll put it in B tier there, and, like, D tier utility, because its only use is being annoying. Okay, Red Creek Cavern. Honestly, okay. Combat. A tier. It's not super duper duper powerful, but it's pretty strong and scary. Utility. If someone's dying of blood loss, it would be pretty useful, so I guess I'll put it in B. It's not what he'd use it for, but you know. Okay. Bye Bye Blues. What the fuck does... Bye Bye Blues just eliminates negative feelings in a certain radius. So, like, it could make people not aggressive towards you, but, like, you know, they could still fight you if they wanted. So I'll put it in C tier for combat, and, like, that would just be pretty cute, pretty wholesome as a general thing, so I'll put it in A tier for utility. 28 or 6-4. I'm not going to bother looking it up, but if I recall, it's if he guesses correctly the number of teeth an opponent has, he gains an aspect of their powers. So, let's see here. Okay. Combat. C, I think, is fair. Utility. B. Alright. Reality check through the skull. God, we still have a ways to go. This is scary. This is gonna be a long video, huh? Alright, so anyways. This shit. Combat. Same tier as the sand stand, I guess. And then utility, slightly better than the sand stand. Alright. Dio Brando's stand. The one that forces people to only feel happiness. I guess it's a bit similar to Bye Bye Blues, but like a bit scarier and better. I'm gonna put it higher in combat, lower in utility. Actually, same tier in utility. Even though it's like not the same utility. Okay. Ain't No Mountain. I mean, this is mostly a utility stand, but if anything steps in his way, he is able to surpass it. That's still pretty fucking good. I'm gonna say, like, A tier combat? Or wait, hang on, let me just look up the exact specifics of it. Obstacle, physical, or otherwise, will have any and all immunities. Oh, right! So it's actually, okay, S tier in combat. Because it can get rid of plot armor if it needs to. And an S plus utility. Forgot that it does that. It's not that it makes him better or that he can just surpass it or whatever. It's specifically that shit. Okay. Life's Extension Lottery. Combat, I'm gonna put it in B, because he can just instantly kill you if you've ever eaten a McDonald's product, but if you haven't, you're completely immune to it. And then, for utility, it's like D, I guess. But, you know, okay. Stagnation. Very scary. Honestly, I think that goes into S tier combat. Because if they have bodily fluids, they can basically completely fuck them over. And, like, I don't see what it would be utilized for. So I'm gonna put it in, like, E tier utility. Honestly, F tier utility, because it's, like, actively bad to try to use as a utility thing, because it would just fuck everything up. Okay, cleanup. Combat technically can be used in combat, but like can't be at the same time. So it could, if there are people around, it can fight them and won't stop fighting until they've been quote unquote cleaned up. But it goes C in combat, B in utility, I guess. Okay, that's everyone there. Alright. A Lullaby of Broadway. I think I have to put it... Okay. I should, in theory, put it... Okay, I'll put it in... Okay, normally in combat, it's gonna be a fucking... an E in combat, because it's like you could blow up one gaming console and have it happen on as many as you want. But, so you could, like, set things up strategically or some shit. But yeah, point is, you know, so, basically, utility, since it was essentially responsible for killing a big person, I have to put it into S for utility. Because wowzers. Okay. You're all the world to me. Combat. You could just completely erase the concept of combat or whatever, but that would have a lot of downsides. The issue is I'm gonna put it in A for combat because of the amount of downsides that come with things by using it a lot, or etc. Blah blah blah. And utility, I'm gonna put it in S. I think that's safe. All right. Dead man talking. Combat. This is an F in combat. Straight up. And then for utility, it's like a C, I guess. Okay. Baby, you knock me out. Okay, so in combat, it's mostly psychological, but it's like very effective in that regard. So I'll put it in D because the stand itself doesn't really do anything in combat, but it's, and utility I'm gonna put into B, into honestly A even, because it can completely wipe someone out if like, even if he's not the one to kill him. Like if he were to hit someone who would have been a threat, then they'll just get completely fucking annihilated when they eventually die. So yeah. Teen Town. Question mark, question mark, question mark tier. Thank God. Easy ranking. Because it has yet to be revealed. Cease to exist. Okay. It didn't really get to be used too greatly in the... Are you gonna fucking unblur it or whatever at any point? Are you planning on doing that? Okay, there we go. Cease to exist. If you make someone feel bad for them, he can make them cease to exist. If you're in a combat situation, the person probably won't be feeling bad for you, but if they do, they instantly get yeeted out of reality. So I guess that goes there, and then utility is like, I guess, D? I don't know. Alright. Okay, this one. Combat. F. Whoa. Okay, combat F. Utility E. X gonna give it to ya. Okay, this is actually, I think, okay. Combat S, I think, is fair. I think that's reasonable. And then I think for utility, also S is reasonable. X is gonna give it to you, it's just a really good stand. Is that all? Did I get them all? Did I get everything? It looks like I did. Huh. Well, I'm not complaining. I guess that's the end of it. Alright. See you next time when I do the next stand stroll, which is already, like, the list is completed for it. So, anyways, bye.